So many restoration contractors are like myself and true entrepreneurs, and they embrace this mentality that I call getting done. Like, we're just machines, we're just unstoppable. The hustle is real. We're trying to get stuff done every single day, and output is something we really focus on. And we just build these decently sized restoration companies right off the bat. We experience tremendous success, getting to maybe $3 to $5 million a year our first couple of years just by getting done. The problem is this GSD mentality starts breaking down after that $3 to $5 million mark. And the reason behind it is we can no longer just rely on what we as restoration founders can produce in order to keep the company afloat. And oftentimes as founders, we overlook the three most important elements that I think any entrepreneur in general should keep in mind. And that is your mission, your vision, and your core values. And these three things should be established early on, and your entire business needs to run upon these three things. In this episode of Albi After Hours, we're gonna kind of dive in and explore each of these three things. And I'm gonna try to give you some tips on how you can find your mission, vision, and core values. So let's get started. So the 4 steps of finding your mission is step 1, ask yourself, what in the world do you do, right? And write that down. It's a very tedious exercise, but take a piece of paper and ask yourself what you do and start writing it down. And you can do it along with us right now here on this YouTube video. What in the world do you do? And write that down. Step number 2 is start writing down for every single one thing that you said, what do you do? Why does it matter? We help homeowners in time of needs. Ask yourself why. And keep asking yourself why and digging deeper and deeper and deeper into each one of those things that you do. Why is it important that you help homeowners in time of need? Why do you want to be this superhero? Why do you want to grow this massive business? Why do you want to help others? Like, why? And again, it's going to be tedious and it's going to be very anti the GSD mentality that we talked about earlier. You want to dig deeper and deeper and deeper and have these lists built within each of these levels. Step number 3, you're going to start finding and noticing these trends or these ideas that kind of go along with 1 and 2 when we talk about what we do and why it matters, and we keep asking ourselves why. And we're going to notice these things are going to repeat themselves over and over again. Maybe again, we want to be these superheroes, or we want to create generational wealth. Maybe that's something that comes up. Or we want to help employees, grow and have this sense of self-fulfillment. Or, maybe, and there's nothing wrong, but Wolf of Wall Street, right? The mission's to make as much money as we can, right? So maybe that's the motif. Money, 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 money. Whatever it may be, don't be ashamed of it. It needs to be a part of your mission, and you want to kind of find those ideas. And then step number 4, you're going to clarify this and you're going to synthesize it into 1 or 2 max statements. So again, the 4 steps towards defining your mission is 1, asking yourself what in the world you do. Step 2, you're going to ask why, and you're going to keep digging and digging and digging and digging until you have this giant list of why you do what you do, and you're super deep. Step 3 is you're going to look for those trends and kind of try to find the areas within, all of those explanations that kind of, group together. And then step 4 is you're going to clarify and synthesize those together. So now that you have your mission clarified, the second component that we talked about is the vision. And the vision is really, where is this ship going, right? Your primary job as a founder and CEO is to really paint that vision clearly and steer that ship towards where you're going to go. And a company without a vision is actually the worst place in the world you can be. People are going to ask themselves, well, why in the world am I doing what I'm doing? And where are we going? Like, what's this adventure all about? So it's really important to set that vision, and it's a very hard task to do, but I strongly recommend that we get out of that get done mentality to establish that vision. The 3 steps towards setting that vision is actually step number 1, we're going to set a flag. And a flag is a moment in time. So we're going to look at, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the road. That is our flag, and we're going to set that. Step number 2 is going to be, we're going to create a vivid description. not to like sidetrack, but there is this meditation technique called visualization where you close your eyes and you meditate, but instead of meditating and focusing on your breath, you're almost like daydreaming and you're trying to focus on the sensations of what something specifically feels like. I really recommend you engage this meditation technique when you're trying to create that vivid description. So it's really fun. You get to sit down and think of that time at your flag, whether that's, when the company sells or when the company goes public, or, maybe it's a point in time when somebody, is reporting about you. Maybe you're giving a speech or a podcast. And you think about, okay, what am I talking about? What does it feel like? Right? What are some clear aspects of that? Like, am I doing $10 million, $15 million of revenue? How many employees do I have? What does that feel like? What kind of technology is going on? What does it smell like when I walk into the room? Maybe it smells like freshly cooked food because I have a chef cooking for all my employees, right? How do I personally feel? Do I feel joy? Do I feel excitement? What does that office look like? Is it a minimalist office? Is it, have kind of like an old feel to it, right? So you take this trip down this futuristic lane and you try to think of all these things of what does that company look like? And then you write that down, step 3, right? And you consolidate everything into a vision. And what's cool about that vision, and once you have the mission and vision done, is you're going to go to every single employee and you're going to tell them, hey, you bought into this dream. This is the vision. This is where we're going, guys. You're going to use that as excitement and people are going to follow you towards that. Because again, if we're not going anywhere, why the hell are we even on the ship? The third thing that gets overlooked often when we're in this get done mentality that's really important is our core values. Our core values are basically those philosophical principles that our entire company kind of lives upon, right? And a lot of times this is overlooked. A lot of times we find bad employees that are probably great executors, but because of the fact they don't fit in those core values, they perform poorly or they just don't really fit within the company. So it's important to kind of establish those early on. Actually, funny story, I remember the first time we set the core values at Rome Xterra, my former venture that I started with my father. We were at Violin's business planning retreat in Captiva, Florida, and they told us, hey, figure out your core values. I kid you not. We sat there for 5 hours. 5 freaking hours staring at ourselves and not knowing what in the world to do. And at this point, mind you, we were about a $3 million a year company. We had already achieved strong, feelings of success. And we really didn't know, like, what in the world are our core values? And we did a lot of soul searching and we started looking, my father made a list of things that were important to him that were less important to me. And I made a list of things that were important to me that were less important to him. But again, basically on those lists of things that are like the principles that you live life based off of. And we actually came down and boiled them down to a couple. We boiled them down to honesty, transparency, and doing the right thing. Those were the 3 core values. And every single employee that was hired at Rome Xterra, out of about probably we made over 100 to 150 hires throughout that period of time, had to demonstrate the fact that they, abided by the core values of honesty, transparency, and doing the right thing. And it was one of our keys to success was establishing those core values early on. So those are the 3 things that your restoration company needs to get to the next level. Again, recapping, it's mission, vision, and core values. If you found value in this video and want more videos like these, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, and comment below. That is the one fee that you need to pay for watching this video. Again, completely free content, but we want you to comment below to let us know what you found most valuable so that way we can keep producing valuable things like these.